I'm just kicking off the broadcast now, and we are live. OTNG Season 2, Episode 1. We have Ethan, Nils, and Peter, and tonight we're going to tackle Shadow of the Demon Lord. New system for all of us.
Hopefully not all of it at once.
We had finished our DCC campaign, or at least put a nice...
put a bookmark in it.
I was going to say bookmark, or not necessarily a final chapter, but a good conclusion, maybe.
I'd say a good point to stop for now.
Okay.
Well, I want to leave the door open for that moment that Aaron goes, "Oh, I have this great /7/level 8 adventure I'd love to run. Hey, I have a group that can do it."
Right.
Or you come up with this level 7 character, and we have Sullens run a high level 1 at a con, and we go crazy with these characters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that door is wide open. Sorry, Ethan, I was stepping over you. What were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just saying that that's cool because then we have a team pre-generated for a high level adventure.
Right. And I left the Roll20 game intact so as not to disturb those characters in their stasis capsules, as it were.
Perfect. I haven't leveled mine up yet, so I need to go back.
Okay.
And do that.
I went and leveled mine up. I'll probably make physical character sheets for them at some point, just so.
Yeah, you need that hard copy, right?
Exactly.
I've always had one.
Right. I think that's absolutely the right thing to do. I am creating character sheets for you guys right now in the Roll20. You'll start seeing them show up in your journals. They're just blank character sheets with default names, which you can refine as you will.
Cool. Oh wow, it's even. Oh wow, cool.
Is this Gaelic? Or is this Welsh? I can't quite.
Yeah. Let's see here. Character sheets.
Ooh, this is fancy. I literally just have like Word doc open with like listing every single little thing out. I didn't have to print anything, so this is cool.
Yeah, the character sheets are nice.
All right.
So I think it's just going to be the three of us tonight. Pepper's computer died. He may join us later, but I'm not expecting him.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Stupid computers.
Okay, so now I've now added a new name, so I can just hit Save Changes.
Abelson.
There's my first character sheet.
I knew it was yours.
I haven't named my people yet.
Well, I figured names just so we can tell them apart.
Yeah, right.
And you've referred us to stick with humans for this.
I'm open if you want to play non-humans. I was a little concerned about how to adapt the non-human races because they have goblins and orcs and things like that. But I did a little bit of reading and some thinking about it, and I think we could be creative about that. So I am open if you want to play a non-human character.
I'm fine with humans, and then if a character dies, I can create a non-human.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way, though. I, of course, always go, well, what about dwarfs?
Dwarves are part of the rules. They're part of the canon. They're part of the system.
Well, you know me. But let's stick with humans for the 0 level.
I like I said, I'm totally open. If you want to explore what a dwarf brings in Shadow of the Demon Lord, we can definitely do that. I am open to that.
Let me open up my.
Do all three of you have the rule book before I start like just spouting off stuff? And
yeah, in fact, I need to open it right now.
Okay, cool. All right, so tonight's session is essentially a level 0. A level 0. I wouldn't say it's a funnel, but as you know, level 0 characters are fragile. They are not especially good at any one thing. They're just kind of regular villagers that are now just starting to step out on this adventure path.
Which book should we use? Excuse me for interrupting. The companion?
The core book. I'm not familiar with the companion.
There's the core book. There's Uncertain Faith. There's Demon Lord's Companion, and there's Demon Lord Dark Seeds and Last Hope. Last Deeds in Last Hope. That's it.
Okay. Tonight we're going to be running the Dark Deeds in Last Hope. That's the adventure that we're going to run. So
don't look at it.
Don't look at it unless you want to spoil or taint your experience tonight.
Nah. Yeah. I wouldn't know what I was looking at anyway.
We all die.
Words. All these words.
You words. Pictures are nice. Well, it's like the DCC modules I have. When I first got them, I looked at the pictures and went, oh, Stephen Pogue, so cool. Oh, let's go. Oh, Mullen, oh, it's so cool. And I put them away, and I've quickly forgotten most of the pictures even.
Right. Yeah, the art and the Goodman stuff is so powerful.
Yeah, and it really takes me back to being 12 again and looking at Errol Otis and Jeff D and Bill Willingham and going, oh, I want to draw.
I wish I could draw that good.
Yeah, I still say that.
I know. I think he might be better in some respects.
Aren't you the nicest?
I still have you, Gerda, in the original OTNG session right now. I'm just closing that. I don't know if you have another tab open, but
I do. Let me close that. Yeah, it's closed now.
Okay. All right. So again, tonight's a level 0 session. We're gonna do some kind of basic world building stuff. The premise is that you are all members of a town named Last Hope.
You bet we are.
And you all share relationships with one another. You needn't necessarily know each other well, but you all know the town well. You could be recent arrivals. You could be travelers that have arrived recently, but enough to know the town, or you could certainly be residents of the town. I'm just throwing a lot of
options,
broad strokes onto this canvas that we're going to start pinning storyboard ideas to. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that I want to do is, before we even start generating characters, is start talking about some facets or aspect of the world that we're going to play in. I'm brand new to Shadow of the Demon Lord. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know the background very well, but I do know kind of the story that I want to tell. And the way we're going to play this game is over the next 10 sessions, where after every session, every character will level, and we will progress to a final climactic, epic battle versus the forces of evil, wherein the heroes will either triumph or perish, and the world along with them.
Can we choose now?
I choose triumph.
Yeah. Well, that saved time.
That was easy. So what I'd like to do is start pinning some things to the storyboard. And what I'd like is for each of us in turn to take an opportunity to talk about things that they want to add to the world, or things that they want to ban from the world. And we'll each go in turn and do this, and until one person decides to pass, in which case everybody else will get one more opportunity to add kind of one of those storyboard concepts, one of those big archetypes or plot devices onto the storyboard, and then that will sort of create the framework for the world that we're going to be playing in. And what this does is it kind of gives us an opportunity to sort of shape the sandbox that we'll be exploring together, right? So
my character sheet just got a name.
Which one?
Now it's Will Treaty.
Oops, sorry.
What are you doing?
No, I don't know how. That's interesting. I didn't know you could access other people's characters.
Oh, I see. Right. I gave everybody privileges and
oh, cool. Well, that's fine.
All the character sheets, so you can do.
But I was looking at it going, it's moving by itself.
happening? Whose character sheet is this anyway?
All right, so I guess that one's mine.
Let's just change the name.
Maybe put a parenthetical with your player name there.
Yeah.
Just for the until we get used to these characters, so everybody knows kind of who
I
is
thought
who.
it was auto changing and it didn't.
You gotta save that bad boy.
All right, so I need to figure out how to rename this.
Does anybody want to present the session for the benefit of anybody that might be watching to sort of catch up on what we do with season or episode 1 for season 2?
Yes, I'd be happy to do so.
Cool.
I'm saving another name though.
All right.
Here we go.
Taking this character sheet. It belongs to me.
You're peeing all over it.
Every time I do that, the laptop short circuits.
All right. Let's see.
No, Nils, you cannot join evil in this game.
Well,
I know. I have a plan for that.
I know you do. I know you do. And Aaron would go, well, if it's part of the story, then that's what happens.
Right. Exactly. And there is corruption. There is insanity in this game. I will tell you. Well, I'm not going to tell you anything because I don't want to jade your perspective about what's going to happen with this campaign, with this session, with this experience. So, the first thing that I want to add to our storyboard is the fall of empire. So, the world that we're playing in is there was a large and prosperous human empire, which is now crumbling and collapsing. That's all I'm going to say about it for right now, unless you all want to add some detail or kind of ask me questions about that. But now I'll pass, and I'll pass to Ethan, then to Nils, and then to Peter. And you can all choose to add something or ban something from the storyboard. And
can we ban Mike from eating things?
Yes. So this could be things that you want to see in the game or things that you don't want to see in the game, right? So that's how I'm thinking about it. Any questions about what I've added, what we've talked about so far, what I've yammered on about so far? I like Nils's. Nils has the best persona for this game. We need to get you an eye patch.
2. That's how I came up with these. That's how you came up with these names.
Gideon Beast, is that from a story I don't know?
Yeah, whose story
it's Ridian's descendant.
Gideon.
Oh, of course. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I got Egon Uncertain here.
Cool.
I don't know what to do with him though.
Well, we'll get to the character sheet first. Let's do this storyboarding thing. How about you, Ethan? What would you like to add or ban from the storyboard?
Let's see. So you said that there was a human empire that fell.
Yep.
Let's add that it was due to religious factions warring against each other.
Religious strife. That sounds like something. Yep.
Nice.
Strife. How about for you, Nils? What would you like to add or ban from the storyboard?
Well, depending on how specific we can make it, it sounds like
he would like to be emperor of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that'll come. The introduction of chaos and corruption into the world was due to Ridian, many generations ago.
Okay. So Ridian bees open the gates.
Yes.
Nice.
Peter, what would you like to add or ban from the storyboard? You're on mute if you're speaking, Peter.
Sorry, I was chewing, and so I had it on mute.
Uh-huh.
I start talking, and I go, gosh, everybody's quiet.
I've stunned them into silence. This is awesome. I'll just keep going.
I'm a genius. That's a little hard because I want to see a sense of purpose and teamwork from us, but that's something we're going to grow and build to, and not so much a flavor. Yeah.
Though we could put that as a precept of the foundation of the opening.
We could all
sessions.
It's true. We the reason we're on this level 0 is that we individually have had visions and had something has touched each of us to say you need to do this. Sort of like Richard Dreyfuss had to sculpt that flat mountain until he actually went to visit it, and so he kept making it over and over again. That kind of thing.
Okay, so visions bind us together.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely, based on what my characters have going on.
And if it's Ridian that's caused the problem in the first place, it's visions of Gerda saying, listen, you guys got to fix this. Monkey Boy wrecked it.
Okay.
It really was religious strife, man.
Okay, I'm liking it. All right, I'm going to add another thing, but this is something that I want to ban from the game, and that's black powder. I don't think it has any place in this world.
Okay.
So this is going to continue until one of us chooses to pass, in which case then everybody else will have an opportunity to add or ban one more item, one more detail, one more aspect from the storyboard to the storyboard, and then we'll start jumping into the actual character creation part.
Okay.
Ethan, would you like to add or ban something from our storyboard?
Let's see.
Okay, we'll go in reverse order.
Yeah, why don't we do that? What do you think?
Because I'm going to force you to pass, and then we're going to keep this moving along.
Yeah, I don't want to pass.
The religious strife is far from over. There's factions and bands and poorly behaving people. It's like just after the 30 Years' War. There really is. There's little to no government in places, and some places the sword is the only government. Okay. Well, the axe, because most people can't afford a sword.
Okay, so religious strife is still active. I've noted that down, but
it's not a peaceful countryside.
We want to say maybe lawless.
Yeah.
Lawless. Nils.
Because of the corruption and chaos in the world, it's kind of like a permanent nuclear winter. So it's always storming and overcast.
Okay.
Like being in Mordor.
Yeah.
An unchanging gray season. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I love the no gunpowder as much as I love my dwarves with guns. I like a no gunpowder in this.
Ethan.
Let's see. Creature, because of all this religious strife and everything, creatures from folklore are constantly just randomly appearing and showing up on all over the countryside.
Ooh, that's good.
Strange beasts.
Yeah.
Strange beasts. Yeah, there's a Doctor Strange animated movie, and because there's a weakness in the barriers between dimensions, demons keep seeping through it. It's that kind of thing, I bet.
Right, and a lot of these creatures may not be exactly what folklore says they are, but all have some aspect like.
Sure. You go, wow, that's what inspired a harpy. I can see that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you. I've never seen the manatee equals a half-naked girl and fish thing, but you know,
Okay.
I'm not a desperate sailor who's been at sea for a year either.
All right. Let's see. That brings it back to me. I'm going to pass. So this is your last opportunity to add something or ban something from the storyboard. And we'll continue in the same reverse order that we had started this round in, Peter. And you can certainly pass if you wish, if your mind is blank. Whoops.
I'm sorry, did you say Peter or Ethan this time?
Peter, please.
That's a hard one because part of me wants to say no character deaths, but that would lead to worse things. So,
well,
no. Don't open that door.
Scene altered carbon.
Yeah, we don't need to. Yeah.
I'm like 6 episodes into it. I'm just eating it up. It's like some of the best science fiction I've seen.
Excellent. I saw a while back. I think I mentioned Europa Report. I thought it was quite good.
Yes, that I need to be sure to add to my list.
I love hard science fiction. I'm going to pass because I don't have anything definite, so I don't want to just say something and then later go, that was a dumb thing to just say. So I'm going to go ahead and.
So here's let me spin you back a little bit. That you're saying you love hard science fiction. What about strength in science, or some sort of scientific aspect to the world?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so alchemy could be working.
Or even or more, right?
Right. Alchemy and magic are real. I hope it's. Ooh, that's a must-have. I thought that was sort of an assumed. I guess that's part of
it. Magic is assumed because of the genre that we're playing.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And they might think of it as kind of like a high fantasy sort of setting.
Excellent. Well, this is set for, was it 5th edition D&D originally?
No, it's its own thing.
Oh, it's its own thing.
The designer has been part of the 5th edition design team. He's also done work on 3, 5, and 4.
Okay, so definitely it's a D&D flavor to it.
Yes, there's definitely a true fantasy flavor. Not a sword and sorcery, like a high fantasy, like a Greyhawk kind of.
Right.
As a foundation, right?
Right. That also opens the door then to Elric, and we all know what Nils wants to do.
It's a given.
That means one of us has to be Hawkmoon.
Not it.
I thought it was a coon.
So we're still waiting for Peter to see if he does truly want to pass or add something that he loves. I'm not going to push you any further, though. I just wanted you to know that is an opportunity.
Well, there should be somewhere. There should be a force for fighting for good. If there's all this evil going on, there's got to be something, even if it's not us or we're aware of it. I like to think there's some balance in the world, but maybe not. Maybe it's us. So I don't have any more hard things to put to it because, to be honest, I'm really kind of open.
Okay, that's great. Nils, let's move on to Nils.
So the advent of the chaos and the corruption or whatever, in the fall of the empire, due to the advent of the chaos and corruption, there was some sort of massive physical catastrophe that was a large contributor to the fall of the empire. So whether it was like a tidal wave or a earthquake or something like that, and so actually the world is falling apart in a lot of different ways.
So it's a dying world, dying Earth.
Yes.
Oh man, Jack Vance.
Yeah, it's not just the empire that's dying; it's the world that's dying.
Right.
Oh, we're screwed.
So, are you okay if I put dying Earth on my?
Yeah, that's good. Well, luckily, Peter, we have to do this in session. So.
Peter, what?
So luckily, we only have 10 sessions of this, so even if we're screwed, it won't be that bad.
Oh, here, which reminds me, I haven't started sharing. My apologies.
That's all right.
Google Hang. No, I want to do Google Hangouts, right? No, I
You
want to share ONTG.
23 or your browser. Cool. Thank you.
My apologies.
No problem.
Ethan's name is now an Egon Uncertain. I got to quit leaving these things open.
Quit taking my stuff.
No, let's see your thing.
Ubug Onasi. All right. All right. Ethan, you have one final item, detail, aspect.
Gunpowder is not a thing, obviously. We've said that. But engineering is a thing.
Okay, engineering.
So there was
mechanical engineering.
Exactly, mechanical. So the very rudimentary things of robotics and just putting together with like cogs and wheels. And it was a stark contrast to the alchemy side of things, and potentially that may have also contributed to the fall of the empire.
Okay. All right. Great. I love it. So let me just quickly recap for you what we have up on the storyboard, and this will kind of help facilitate and shape the world that we're playing in. First, we have a fallen empire, active religious strife. An ancestor opened the gates. Visions bind us together on a lawless society with an unchanging grace season, a world filled with strange beasts, a dying earth with mechanical engineering. There's some pretty cool stuff there. And as a final reminder, an absence of gunpowder. Cool.
Okay,
So
I should erase the rifle from my character sheet.
Yeah. Hang on just a second.
Remove laser pistol.
All right. I think we're trapped in the inky blackness of space.
We always are.
I certainly feel that way lately.
That's where our last party is right now.
No, I like to think we're hanging out in my big oak grove and hanging out with Sky and having a campfire. I think so.
Yeah,
I'm summoning some food.
We're just still falling and falling and falling, and we'll be perpetually falling until we come back to it.
No. We were having a relaxing time. We earned it. Besides, we have no treasure. All I got is acorns, and we got some seeds from those magic plants. We need to plant them.
Plan on stealing a golden goose or something?
No, but that's the treasure we got from the place is the fruit and stuff we ate that we know what it did. We have seeds from it. That's one of the things Gib and I were doing was gathering seeds too.
All right, I'm back with you. Sorry
Excellent.
for the delay. Emily's just taking Lucas out to his piano lesson. All right, let's roll up some characters. Let's see, I'm looking at the journals right now, and I see that we have Gideon Bees, Ubog, Oesi, Will Treaty, and
I haven't named my other yet.
I'm going to create.
I've got 2 right there.
You may not have saved the character names. I'm not seeing them in the journal yet. You may not.
I see them in my journal. How do I?
Oh.
So what you want to do is you want to go up at the top where it has the edit button and click that.
All right.
That changes the name.
Oh, right. Hang on, I'm going to create my own character.
Do you see them now?
No, so open your character sheet.
Yes.
I see him.
I did that.
Now, in the name category, change the name.
Oh, then maybe that's the name that he wants. It just doesn't have the parenthetical Peter, so we're having a hard time finding out.
Yeah.
Oh, would you like that in the?
It's up to you. It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you know where your character sheet is, that's fine. Oh, there's Ichabod, Archingston.
Achingston.
Oh, my aching back.
That's it.
All right, let's.
I just went with letters it started with. And then we have Opie Haberdasher.
Oh, I like it. Opie Haberdasher. All right, like most of the character sheets in Roll20, there are a couple of tabs. And you can show it to players. So I should be showing you my character sheet now, possibly. Maybe you don't.
Oh, I see yours. Well, when we shared mine, Ethan kept stealing it.
I know, he's like that. So the first tab we have is the bio and info. This is kind of free-form tab for you just to add details about your character that wouldn't normally fit on the character sheet. The character sheet itself is the main component. And that character sheet has a few quick touching my character sheet, whoever is doing it. Looks like there are a few buttons here to go from the main sheet to the equipment and talents, spells, and background. So all of these fields look like...
If you scroll down, by the way, it's a lot bigger. There's more that if you're like on main, scroll down, you'll see more.
Oh, right. So these fields are all fillable by the players, and go ahead and add your names to your character sheets. Remember, you can double click on the top bar and collapse it down to like a little ghosted tab that you can move around the plane space. And let me pull up my rule book and we'll start going through this.
So where it says your name, you put the character's name?
Yeah.
You
could also put your name there too. I mean, it's your character sheet. You can do with it whatever the heck you want. Did anybody decide to do a non-human?
No, I decided to stick to humans for now.
Okay, cool.
When you kill me off, I'll come up with a dwarf.
You're living forever. Character creation.
See, it wasn't the prisoner's dilemma, it was the player's dilemma.
Right. Okay, so the first thing is your ancestry. And so in everybody's case, this will be human, unless you choose to make a non-human character, in which case Ancestry is essentially your race in this game. Attributes, attributes range from 1 to 20. The basic premise of the game is a challenge roll. So if you're trying to do something that might require strength, you'd roll a d20, and to succeed, you'd get a 10 or higher with a basic character. There are modifiers that can be applied. They're not typically, the modifiers aren't really significant in this game, but there is a significant mechanic called the Bane and the Boon. So if I were to, say, make a strength check with 2 boons, you'd roll a d20 and then 2d6. Each boon throws a d6, and you take the highest score of one of those d6s and add it to your d20 roll. And the Bane is the opposite. So if I said make an intellect check with 1 Bane, you'd roll a d20 plus a d6, and then you would subtract that from your roll. So that's the basic mechanic here. There are a few derived attributes, like you'll see them in the bubbles near the primary stats, and they'll change as you're sort of editing your stats.
Yeah, I saw strength of 11, you get a +1.
Right.
Agility at 9, you have a -1.
Right.
Ichabod's a little stronger, but Opie's a little smarter.
Okay, cool. I like it. All right. So once you've selected your ancestry, then you choose your attributes. In the beginning, you can give one of these attributes a +1. So rather than being a 10, it can be an 11.
Not even funny.
Not even. And then since you're all humans.
Actually, I can't pass up the chance to play a Clockwork.
I knew it. I knew you would do it.
Oh, you're going to play.
I was like,
you're going to play a Clockwork instead, Nils? Or
Yeah, for one of my characters, yeah.
Okay, one of them.
Oh, that's going to be the Chaos Lord.
So
and we just won't wind him up.
All right, so Clockworks
are creepy.
Yeah, I've been reading on it, so you can keep going with humans, and I'll figure out the rest.
Okay, all right. So just as a background from the core rulebook, Clockworks are people created by binding souls stolen from the underworld to mechanical bodies. Clockworks take many different forms, and their origins determine the paths they will walk. So you're a mechanical creature. This fits in well with the mechanical engineering that we have pinned up to the storyboard. So that's very cool. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, humans.
It's a hard knock life for us.
Yeah, especially considering one of my characters is 12 years old.
Oh, you made them a child. Oh, you've already gone into the chart. So if you look at your core rulebook, there are details about creating a human. And was that right, Ethan? You were telling me that humans, let's see, a normal character gets to add one to one of their traits, but humans also get to add another or something, or
right. So basically,
no, that's right. I'm sorry. I remember the rule now. So don't any of you humans don't modify your character sheet yet. You all start at 10s, but one of those you get to make an 11.
Right.
That's the detail. And then every character after this kind of ancestry assignment of traits is gone can choose to subtract one from any of their traits and add it to another.
Yep.
So that's cool. Like a common principle for all character creation.
Right. It's the classic humans are diverse, so you get to pick what they're going to do.
Right. That's why Ichabod has a strength and will of 11.
Okay. Very cool.
It's good that you're going to be the tank because neither of my characters were born to be tanks.
Well, his good friend, I see him not quite Fezzik and Inigo, but big tough guy, and his smart friend who's agile and smart and calls the shots.
Cool. I like it.
They'll probably die in this, but that's fine. That's where we're starting.
I mean, that's the point, right?
Yeah, they got to have some background here.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Ichabod. Not Ichabod. He's the tough guy. I think Opie, the intellect. I think he was probably he probably works on Clockworks.
Well, let's get there. So let's roll some dice.
We get to do that too?
Yes, we do. So the first thing I would like you to do is each of you that are playing humans, roll a d20 for your human background. Let's start with you, Peter, but you all can chuck dice to the table and we'll just catch them on the chat as needed. Looks like Ethan's already done some of that. Peter, who are you rolling for with this 6?
I've got Ichabod open at the moment.
Okay. So Ichabod belonged to a strange cult and saw many strange things. You start the game with 1 insanity.
Nice. Now, where does that go?
That might go into
It's
background.
in the big wheel for the insanity part, and then the background is where you'll put the fact that he was part of the cult.
There's insanity. Thank you. And yeah, in the background, I'd say, yeah, very good.
Or you could also put it in, you could keep these notes in your description, right? Because there's going to be a few of these things that sort of come up.
Yeah, I kept all the fun little personality things and the quirks, and I did all the physical traits in my description. But
yeah, I mean, whatever works for you. Yeah, whatever works for you on your character sheet. But that's the background for Ichabod. Shall we keep working Ichabod, or do we want to move to another, or do you want to do each character in turn, or how would you like to do this?
Well, I hate to monopolize things.
All right, why don't you roll another d20 for your next character?
All right, come on, Opie. Hey, 20. Oh, that's not even close to 20.
Oh my gosh, Opie murdered someone in cold blood. You start the game with 1 corruption.
Opie.
All right, Nils.
Yeah. Opie's badass. I can't seem to write anything. Oh, different background. That's where I write it. Never mind.
13. This is for your human character. This is for Gideon.
Yep. Traveled extensively. Speak 1 additional language.
All right. Go ahead and note that down. And then your Clockwork. We're gonna do that one last. Yeah, Ethan, you're already caught up on most of your human backgrounds and personalities.
Yep. So Will Treaty, he recovered from a deadly disease.
Okay. What did that provide him with any detail, or is that just flavor? Okay.
Little thing. Morgan was briefly possessed by a demon, causing +1 corruption.
Okay. So you've been touched. All right. Now, Peter, I'd like you to roll 3d6, please.
Uh-oh. Is this going to hurt?
This is fine.
This is a personality trait, which you can help to use to shape your character, though you don't need to apply it if it doesn't fit for you. I need 2 more d6. That's okay.
Let me just roll 3. Let me roll 3 at once. I was pushing the wrong damn button.
Damn it. Holy shit.
Oh, a d20, Sarah. That's better. Third time's the charm.
9.
I don't know. I like 28.
So this is Ichabod, correct?
Sure. I'll open him. There we are.
So let's see. You put your interests and those of your friends above all else.
You and Will Treaty.
Put me and mine first. Hey.
Well, sure, you could go that way too. You just flipped it.
How did you put it?
You put your interests, and those of your friends above all else. You had it right.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Me and mine, basically. Yeah. Right.
Anyone who isn't me or mine, best get out of my way.
Right. All right. 3d6 for
Opie.
Opie. I'm still learning these character names.
Yeah.
10. He's of like mind in Ichabod. That might be why you're stuck together so long. All right, Nils, how about 3d6 for your human Gideon? I'm going to do that a lot.
Okay.
12.
12.
Much like Ichabod and Opie.
See, what did I say about team building? I wanted to have a sense of purpose and again, we might be one of those bands, and maybe we're the ones that protect our village because a lot of the gangs, especially in South Central, originated to protect their neighborhoods more than sell drugs and kill each other initially.
Right. Yeah, the barrio, the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just the guys with sticks with nails.
Ethan, what do you got there?
All right. Will Creedy is just like his soon-to-be companions in that he puts his own interests and the interests of his friends above all else.
Okay.
Morgan is a little bit different. She helps others because it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
Our moral core.
She's your guiding compass.
The one who is possessed by a demon has the moral compass.
Well, that's why she has the moral compass.
It could have been a demon of law.
That's true. It's very true.
Well,
all right.
That's a very druidic thing.
Let's see what you think about religions in this world torn by strife.
Interesting, really quickly.
Let's see how it shapes up. I'm not going to try to shape it from the GM's perspective. And remember that these are all aspects of your character that you can apply or shape or refine or even just discard, right? It's just kind of part of the character building process, and we're just going through it by the book.
Let's not let it mess the game up.
How about 3d6 for Ichabod?
I hope this isn't like Travel. You get all the way near the end and then he dies.
No.
4.
4. Ichabod, you're erratic and unpredictable. You have a hard time keeping your word. And no, pardon me. That's religion. Sorry. You belong to a heretical sect.
Well, it goes with the former cult.
That's right. It does.
There it is. That's it.
Strange cult. Heretic.
Heretic cult.
Heretic cult, yeah.
And how about 3d6 for Opie?
Let me put Ichabod away here. Come on, Opie. Be weirder. Even weirder is good. You have a tentacle, but you won't show anyone.
Combination of traits possible.
9.
You follow the tenets of the old gods.
Yes, you do. That's why you murdered someone in cold blood.
We sacrificed them. It's not murder if it's done in religion.
Nils, let's have 3d6 for Iridian.
I don't believe we have Iridian again.
Damn it, Gideon. That's going to suck.
That's just going to be a trend for the entire time.
I chose all new names.
Iridian follows the new gods. Gideon follows the new gods, not the old.
The new god of Ridian. Yeah.
Gideon.
Just keep trying.
All right. How about age? 3d6 for Ichabod.
Ooh.
What did Ethan's characters do?
Oh, how are Morgan and?
So Will is the old gods, and Morgan is witchcraft and nature.
She's a total. Oh my God, she's freaking Gerda. Gerda's back, baby. Nice.
So Will is the old gods?
Will is the old gods, yeah.
And she's gods of nature and balance.
Yep.
Freaking Wiccan lady. Nice.
That's exactly what she is. Just wait till you get to the professions that she rolled. It's insane.
Tell me she's not a cleric.
She's basically a druid. She's got folklore, nature, and magic.
I think this bodes well. All right, the age on Ichabod.
Yep.
Why is it moving so slow? Try it again.
Let's see, I've got a 4,
An 11.
an 11. An 11?
11. 4 was last time.
Ah. A young adult between 18 and 35.
Okay, way to find age was in the main circle, isn't it?
Age? No, it's just in. Oh, is it? I'm pretty sure it's
No.
just description.
Good. All right, so it'd be in background. Oh, pushing too many buttons. Description. What'd you say? 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20s. That sounds good.
There we go.
How
And
about
Opie.
Opie?
Come on, Opie.
Ooh.
13.
Middle-aged adult, 36 to 55.
36. Well, let's call it 38. Because in this world, I don't want to be too old. Because 55 is practically dead. Unless you're a wizard.
Unless you're a wizard.
Hey, Opie could be. He has
And-
potential.
Gideon is also a middle-aged adult, 36 to 55. Human build is 3d6. And if you have the rule book and you want to go on to some of these other things, you can.
Where did you find the age?
I just wrote it in description.
Yeah, just write it. I just put it in the description.
Okay.
And size, that's between strength and agility.
Size is always going to be 1 for humans,
Okay.
typically.
Oh, you said build. That's different.
Right, build is slightly different. Let's
Are you stocky? Are you short? Are you tall?
give us 3d6
I put
when
that
you're
in-
ready,
Well,
Peter. Ichabod is average height and average build. How about for Opie? You can just push the up arrow on your keyboard. It will re-roll the same die that you rolled last. If you like to do that. 9. Opie is slender. Now, again, if this doesn't fit the vision that you have of the character as they're taking shape, you just ignore those and add some other descriptor that works for you. All right, human appearance for Ichabod. 3d6. Oh, I always forget Ridian.
Gideon?
I always forget Gideon.
8, slender.
Was
And
also
slender.
slender. Mhm. And do you want me to use that 6 for Ichabod there, Peter?
Sure.
Most consider you homely, not quite ugly, but a bit worse than plain. This is your human appearance.
Okay, that's not me. It's not me. It's the character.
You're correct. Most people
homely,
consider,
plain in appearance.
yeah, plain. Worse than plain. Bit worse than plain.
Less than plain.
Less than plain. And then we'll need the same for Opie and then for Gideon.
Or, wow. Looks like somebody put a fire out in your face with a rake.
10. Perfectly average in appearance. You look like everyone else. You're just another human.
You bet.
And that would be the same for Gideon. Any other details you want to share with us about your characters, Ethan, Morgan, and Will?
So Will is just straight up average. Aside from the fact that he's short, he's about 5'2", but otherwise pretty normal. Morgan is 12 years old, so she's really young.
Okay, so
But
Morgan's a child.
Did you roll like a 3?
Yes.
Okay.
I think professions are next, if I remember right.
Well, yeah, we're going to do the clockwork and then we'll move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
was it novice, expert, master? That's all stuff we gain later, right?
That's much
Correct.
later. Yeah.
Correct.
Excellent.
All right, so Nils, what is your clockwork's character name?
800815.
Pump 17. Have you read Discworld? They're named after their job, so Pump 17 is the guy's name.
All right, I will let you guys come up with short and abbreviations for that. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet from a game. We'll have to land on something because 800815.
It's too close to the name that you have for somebody else.
Did you catch his starting attributes? Strength 9,
Okay,
agility,
well,
intellect 9.
If we're using gamer speak, that's a BOOBIS.
Exactly. Okay, I got 3 in there. Sorry. Yeah.
I think we should just call him TikTok.
TikTok's not bad. Clearly, whoever created this clockwork has a sense of humor.
It's that or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Boobies? Really?
Boobies.
All right.
He has breasts? What?
Boobies.
No, that's what his character's name is.
Is Ubi. Oh, I like that. Ubi the
B-O-O-B-I-E-S. Boobies.
Wait, let me see this.
You're
such a 12-year-old.
You guys with open mics. You guys with open mics, I'll just give you a heads up. You might want to get a headset because it's a little hard to hear you because you'll chop and break because of that open mic.
And who is that?
I think that's you and Ethan both have open mics.
Okay, what do you mean by open mics?
Talking to your computer?
Are you using a headset or are you just talking to your computer?
Is this better?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm using one ear of a headphones that have a microphone, but I didn't have the ear with the microphone in. So
well, that's the problem.
There you go.
Then counts like an open microphone.
There we go. All right. I am.
So we're just doing your
11 to 50 years old.
We're on page 15, and I just wanted to make sure that you got all of your stat details.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
43.
You have a key somewhere on your body that you cannot reach.
Right.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to read up about these guys, but this is very cool.
Yeah, none of us are going to wind him up.
9. I was built by the. I was built to use magic, increase my intellect or will by 2.
Oh my God!
Nice.
Well, they start off at 9, so they're not that great. And I'll increase my intellect.
Boobies.
13. Form 14. Humanoid clockwork. You are 6 feet tall, weigh 300 pounds. Sounds just like me. But okay. And then further down.
Other reason I wanted to play humans is I have a figure almost finished that is going to make a perfect adventurer.
Love it.
Wait.
This is your appearance, correct?
No facial features or distinguishing marks.
Cool.
Wait, you have no facial features? Oh, the robot. Yeah, okay.
Background. That's a D20. 13. You're made to be a translator. You can speak one additional language.
Do you speak Bocce? I kill myself. Oh, sorry.
Somebody has to. 5. Your body, personality. Your body gives you power and strength. You use it to enforce your will on others.
You're a mean clockwork.
I'm a bully, yeah.
Bad
is that it?
TikTok. Bad
Yeah,
TikTok.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, cool. So now we
So
have the kind of the.
actually,
Go ahead, Nils.
I was going to say, because he was built to use magic and with a higher intellect. Is that the one? Yeah, you're built to use magic. He was always. I don't know if you have how much personality you have, but he overcompensates for his intellect by being a bully with his strength.
Always trying to equal the scales there a little bit. Okay, I like it. All right. So we have the basis of your characters created, some sort of defining traits associated with them. The next thing we're going to do is come up with professions. Professions there are 6 basic types. You're going to create 2 of them, and together they create a combining effect. So Ethan, since you've already done this, do you want to share with us what your professions are for Morgan and Will?
Okay, so with humans, they get to pick whether or not they take an additional language or a third profession.
Okay.
So I just went with 3 professions for both my characters because common is enough.
Okay.
So Will is he's got the pioneer profession,
Okay.
the trapper profession, and the tracker profession.
Okay. So he's both a tracker and a trapper with a pioneering spirit. Is that right?
Yep, pretty much. He rolled all wilderness.
Okay. So these professions are quote unquote your skills, much like the way DCC does that with your backgrounds.
Yeah.
So if you can apply a kind of a skill trait to what's going on in the fiction through your backgrounds, that will give you modifiers or allowances or capabilities to do those things.
Yep.
Okay, cool. How
And then
about Morgan?
Morgan, when I rolled randomly, rolled everything on academia and got folklore, nature, and magic.
Okay.
So she's very much got that like nature, magic, druid sort of. She knows her folklore sort of thing. Despite
folklore, folklore. What else?
Folklore, nature, and magic.
Okay.
I think it's part of it. Part of her being 12 years old, she's still got that imagination of a child.
Okay. And with a strong bind to the natural forces, the natural and magical forces of the world that are, still clinging to their existence here in this.
Right. If she lived to be older, she would potentially be some sort of magical prodigy.
Okay. All right. Great. I like it. So let's do the clockwork first. So I guess that's 2 professions for a clockwork. Is that right, Ethan?
Yes.
Well, he already has one, right? Because he has magic, so it's one
Or
already.
he's built to use magic.
Oh, gotcha. So
maybe his original intent is broken some way, right? All right, let's see. Nils, why don't you roll 2d6 for me?
Ooh, yeah, get scholarship of magic. That'd be good for you.
56?
Please.
Okay.
So, let's see, a 2 and a 5. So the first profession is common. The 5th one is religious. So let's roll a d20 on the common, and then a d20 on the religious.
Laborer.
Okay, very apropos for a clockwork beast.
Pump 47.
And then for the religious is a d20.
5.
Fanatic.
You're a
Yourself from the
fanatic.
deprivation of bringing you closer to the gods. What is your religious bent for?
There was no religion for the clockwork.
Right. Maybe you're that's why that's like how you want to. Well, maybe you don't believe in the gods at all.
Maybe he's fanatic atheist.
I'll let you
you
let
go.
you think about that for a little while.
Right. Okay.
And how about for Gideon? He's a human, so you can roll 3d6.
And he wrote a Bible,
Yeah.
so
Or you can choose an additional language. 2d6 and an additional language, or 3d6.
Right. I've already got an additional language from my travels, so I will
Mhm.
roll 3d6.
Okay.
Cool.
363. Criminal,
Please.
criminal, and wilderness.
All right.
you're a poacher.
No, he's an ancestor of Ridian, who opened the gates, which predicated the fall of man.
Oh, descendant of. Yeah.
Wilderness is from that Ridian going ape. There's a little bit of that in there. Mhm.
All right, criminal.
The 15. I don't want to be a prostitute.
I think we should have to vote on it.
You can re-roll if you like, or you can choose one off the list that you do like.
I'm sorry.
So what do these do? I mean, I know there's these titles, but then are there skills that go along with these titles?
No, these are basically your skill set.
So prostitute would be wonderful.
Peter's
It
got
goes
a
really
speaker's
well with
drop.
your clockwork boobies.
Yeah.
It's your own fault.
Maybe if it was a clockwork, but not. Agitator. Murderer. I think I'll do an agitator.
Agitator and
Oh, and then the other one I rolled was an 11, which is informant.
okay.
And then I
And
also
then
have
for your wilderness is a d20.
18.
Tracker. Oh, that goes well with the kind of informant part.
Yeah.
All right, Peter. For your humans, will you choose extra languages and throw 2d6, or choose it, or go with 3d6 and have three professions, three professional skills, I guess you might say.
We're doing 3 professions.
All right, let's go for Ichabod first. We'd keep that trend going. 6, 5, and 5. Wilderness, religious.
Ooh.
So I write that in professions, right?
Well, now we're going to roll on another chart. So let's do the wilderness first. So 1d20. Prospector.
Gold digger.
And then 2d20 for the religious.
Which makes a lot of sense considering he's part of a strange cult and a heretical sect.
So
A 1 and a
7
7.
and a 1. The 1 is a devotee. You're a strong believer and follower of your faith's tenets. You
So
can
all
read and
under-
write one language you know. Oh, so you're literate. Very uncommon in this world to be literate.
Does
but
this
one of
go
the-
under profession or no? Where does this go?
Yeah, it would go in profession. So the first profession would be prospector.
Excellent.
Second profession would be devotee.
Devotee.
And then the third profession is 7. Yes, an initiate of the old faith. You've been initiated into the old faith. So, and then maybe you got picked up in this kind of heretical splinter faction within the old faith. Maybe it's familia. Maybe it's ways that you've had your eyes opened to the old gods, to the truth of the old gods.
All right. So Opie gets a 363. I think, is that not
3
criminal?
is criminal.
Yes.
6 is wilderness.
Oh, so 2 criminal and a wilderness. This is the guy who killed somebody.
That's right. He did kill someone.
Oh, yes.
Fuck yes. Don't mess with Opie. Do I need to roll a d20? Because I just did.
Yeah, that is your wilderness, correct?
I would assume whatever. Well, yeah, whatever
to
you're
you.
looking at.
All right. Well, I've got them all. So let's do wilderness, just because that's the single one.
Okay.
A 5 is guide.
Okay, and then you want d20 twice.
Correct.
Can I be a criminal mastermind?
You got a 6.
7 and a 16.
7 and a 16. The 7 is fence, and 16 is a rebel or terrorist.
Oh.
Oh, you killed someone in cold blood.
Oh.
You a terrorist.
Oh. I'm gonna go with rebel.
Okay. What are you rebelling against?
What do you got?
What do you got? All right, I love it. I can relate.
Well, I see our group. We all have different religions, but we're all from the same area, so we're all banded together. We really don't care what each other believes in, and the world's falling apart around us. So we don't see really the point of being real religious about. Well, some of us are probably fanatics, but that's why I see myself as a rebel, not a terrorist.
Okay.
You know, fighting against the chaos around me.
Okay. Great. I like it. And remember, these are just tools to sort of help you shape your character. You know, there's no need to hold to them hard or fast, or, you know, they're the rough sketch, right? They're the rough pencil lines of the sketch of your character.
Yeah, so Nils doesn't have to actually bully us much.
Correct.
Oh, but I do have to try to seduce you.
No,
And get you to pay me.
You chose not to be a prostitute. That if you had done that, I could have been in pimp. But no.
I just don't ask for money.
If your clockwork had gotten prostitute, I would have laughed.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we've got 6 characters that we've created. That was pretty fun. Very cool. I enjoyed that. Let's go backwards through this order. We all kind of know a little bit about our characters already, you know, from all the die rolling that we've done. But what I'd like you to do is tell me one detail about your characters, and only one. It could be physical, it could be a personality trait, it could be something associated with their background. We're not going to get into big backstories or stuff like that, but I just want like one detail that you think is important about your character. Let's start with Will.
Okay. I'll just throw out one quick other thing in the character creation. There's the interesting things tab, which
right, that's
really,
true.
really cool.
We forgot that. So let's before we do this, one detail about
the funky parts of your character too.
Yeah, before we do this one detail about your character, let's finish up the rolling. We need to throw 3d6 for wealth.
Yeah, and then interesting thing, and that should be it.
And then we'll roll on an interesting thing table, and then we'll be done with the character creation.
Where do we write our interesting things?
In your equipment, probably. Or
okay.
Yep, that's right.
Talents. Okay.
Let's start with wealth. Somebody give me give me 3d6s when you're ready. Ethan, tell me what the wealth of your characters are.
Mine both ended up with just getting by.
Okay. And that looks like is that for Gideon?
Yes.
Or 808?
And
you're both just getting by.
Oh man.
This is not surprising.
Peter, how about Ichabod and then Opie? That's the principle we've been following. Ichabod's getting by.
So
lifestyle.
Lifestyle. There it is. Getting by.
Sure.
Getting by. All right. And then good old Opie. Come on, Opie. You should be wealthy. We love you, Opie. Poor little Horatio. Oh no.
You are destitute.
I am a bad fence.
Yeah, you're penniless and you live on the street.
Yeah. I'm a criminal, man. I killed somebody.
That's right. Maybe you're laying low in Last Hope.
That's it. It's like in Bruges.
Okay, let's start with Ethan. Why don't you tell us your interesting thing for Will and then for Morgan?
All right. Will's interesting thing is really cool, actually. He got a gray cloak that grants him 1 boon to his hide rolls.
Oh, a big gray cloak. I like it.
Yep.
Does it have a hood?
It does have a hood. It kind of just lets him like blend into the side of stone buildings and things.
Into shadows. All right.
Yep.
All right. Very cool.
He got really cool with that. Morgan has a 10-pound bag of flour.
Okay.
Which is what she took with her when she was running away from her family.
Okay. All right. Great. So that's maybe the one detail that we needed to know about Morgan, that she's a runaway. What's one detail that we need to know about Will?
Will.
It could be physical. It could be background. It could be his personality trait. It could be something, just one thing that you think is important that everybody knows about Will.
Will was born an orphan, and so he's grown up on the street and in the wilderness, which is why he got all his professions the way he does.
Okay, let's leave it there. An orphan.
Yep.
Mills, let's start with you. How about an interesting thing for 808?
So do we roll on the table?
We do. We roll a d6. I'm on page 26 of the core rulebook.
Right. Okay. We'll get to there. 2, which is table 2, and then we roll a d20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do it rightly.
I can either my character sheet open or I can see the rule book.
I have a pet mouse, squirrel, or rabbit.
Oh, this is for 808.
Yeah.
Yeah. What small creature would you like to have as a pet?
Rabbits are helpless and stupid. Rats and squirrels can climb. Yeah, and rabbits taste good, but squirrels and rats can climb, and they can get into all kinds of crap.
Yeah, squirrel.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's cooler than a rat. Anyone
Maybe
can have a rat.
Does it live about your person? About your clockworkness? Are you open and hollow, I guess is the question.
Right. There is, I am not open and hollow, but there is, some gaps that he can kind of like hide inside.
Okay.
It's not
There's
like
a space. You got like a hat sculpted on, and this hat is really largely decorative, but it's the right size for a squirrel.
I don't know about a hat, but there's, but yeah, it's not someplace he can actually nest, but he can like.
He can get it. He could squirrel about you.
Yes, exactly. So
table 4.
Gideon 1 on table 4, which is glass jar holding beetle covered in glowing spots.
Oh my!
Sheds light as a candle.
Oh my goodness! This is like lightning jar all over again.
So
yeah, pretty good point.
Gideon and 808. What's one important detail that we should know about your characters?
Through his connection to the new gods and his fanaticism there, he came to discover that Ridian, the instigator of all this chaos and corruption, was his ancestor, and so now he is on a mission to purge his family name and gain right the wrong.
Right the wrong.
Right the wrong of his familia ancestor. Okay, I like it. How about for 808? What's one important detail we need to know about him?
His name spells boobies.
We've already determined that. Bill.
Right. Let me look at him real quick.
Excuse me.
So, and actually, I don't know if this is cheating, but I actually switched 2 of the professions just because they felt like they fit better. I made 808 the informant and Gideon the fanatic. And for 808, he has no face, and he's a laborer. So he can easily be overlooked, and that's why he ends up being an informant, because he's and people kind of like being a clockwork. People kind of don't
Kind of
think about
ignore
him being there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just a tool.
Right.
Right.
But and because he's a laborer, people think he's kind of stupid, but he has a higher intellect, and
Right,
and
sure.
then that works in with his being kind of a bully also. So
And he also has like lots of languages he knows, right? He's pretty smart.
yeah.
Especially bocce.
Okay, cool. I really like it. That's so cool. How about for Ichabod? Let's do his interesting thing. A D6 and then a D20, please. 1, table 1. And a 20 is 9. Oh, you have a
Ooh.
monogrammed handkerchief that always stays clean.
That goes in background.
Sure,
goes
or
in your-
possessions, or in possessions.
Equipment talents.
Equipment, pardon me.
Items. Add. Monogrammed. Clean.
It always stays clean. It never becomes soiled.
And the
Monogram.
question is, whose monogram is it? Because it's not your own.
Or is it?
Do you know?
Right.
Oh,
There's
of
another
course.
question we can answer.
Of course it's Ichabod. He's a good guy.
Wasn't he the one that murdered somebody?
No.
No, that's
Oh,
OP,
okay.
the criminal.
Right.
The penniless criminal, the destitute rebel.
Oh, that's it. It's the monogram of the person that Opie murdered.
Ooh.
Well, let's let
If you
Peter.
want.
Let's let
Yes,
Peter.
of course.
Let's let Peter. Let's not
Yeah.
shape Peter's character too much for him.
Yeah.
All right,
Actually,
Peter.
it goes kind of with something that I was thinking of anyway.
All right. Well, let's
do a D6 and a D20 for
D6 and
Opie.
D20 for Opie. Table 5 and 18. A giant piece of charcoal that radiates menace. Don't touch it. It's evil.
It's evil. I'm just gonna put that under notes. This poor
All right.
guy.
What's one important detail that we should know about Ichabod and about Opie?
It isn't. I guess it would be common knowledge that Opie killed somebody, but the reason he killed somebody is really only known to Ichabod and Opie, and it is why Ichabod is always loyal to Opie. It's
Okay.
not that he owes him something; it goes beyond that. And that handkerchief is from the person he killed.
Okay. Okay. And is that also the detail that you want to share about Ichabod, or is there something?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Great. What an interesting set of characters we've created with a little bit of effort tonight. That was fun. Good job, guys. Let's see.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do a little bit of detail about the town. If my thing will show up.
I still have your character sheet up because I take it every time I open my character sheet that's always shared too, right?
Oh, you can close that. Yeah.
I keep mine closed just because I figure people don't want to be staring at my stuff all the time.
We don't mind staring at your junk. All right, here we go. I am just grabbing some artwork. Can anybody tell me how big 8.5 by 11 is in pixels?
No.
Oh no, I have no clue.
All right.
It entirely is dependent upon the resolution that your computer screen is, so you can make it whatever you want.
Pixels is 8.
I'll be right back.
All right, makes sense. Whoops. I'm just grabbing some art right now to throw onto the table so we have something to look at. Peter
back.
with us?
I am now back. Sorry.
All right, no problem. No problem at all. Pixels. Oh, this is fine. This will do. Let's save that. Roll 20. Wait, what? All right.
Man, there's some serious mold lines in this figure.
Which model are you working on?
I'm cleaning up a Wolfsong Ogre. Because the wash I just put on my adventurer with the lantern and the shield and sword and cool armor that I plan to name Ichabod if he lives, is drying at the moment.
Oh, okay. All right. Whoops.
Of course, I'm playing a warrior in the system that doesn't have a deed die, I'm sorry to say.
So sad. Figure out how to make this work.
We will. I'm not dissing this system at all. I'm just saying I missed our characters. They were really great. They're a great story. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Yeah, they were a great story.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it makes you feel any better, warriors, once you get to the warrior stage, will start getting boons on their attacks, which act similar in a similar capacity to a deed die.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm hoping to have one go academic and one go, or one go non-warrior and one go warrior. That would be nice to have the breakup.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if we don't have a luck battery.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go thiefy type with Will and hopefully druidy magic type with Morgan if they survive.
The big if.
The very, very big if. Can a 12-year-old get to level 10 and kill the big demon?
Well, if maybe it's a year, each adventure's a year of her life, she'll be 22 by with it. Yeah, for sure. Besides, it's always the kid whose eyes glow that does the big deed at the end.
True.
Well,
true.
You got to survive that long.
All right. Now what we're going to do is I put a map on the table. You guys should be able to see it. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, so this is the start of the town. And we're going to kind of lay out the town, and then we'll start our adventure. We'll see how far we get. The first thing we need to do is, anybody need a recap about where we are, what's going on, or
we're in a village
about your characters and how this sort of story is shaping up in your minds?
Yeah, we're in a world that's racked by religious strife and quite possibly more than that, as it seems like strange creatures are appearing, and
Mm-hmm.
we're all kind of banding together to take care of what's ours.
Okay, great.
Even though Morgan has her eye on the big picture.
Yeah, well, that's the idealism of a 12-year-old for you.
I love her. I'm sorry. I feel like Gerda's with us again.
So anybody that wants to can enable 3D dice and automatically roll them to the table. You would do that in your settings. And we're going to roll a few dice, and where the dice land will dictate what type of structure is created on the map. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Interesting. I've not
Who
That's a
knows?
cool way to
Maybe
do it.
Oregon
It's
is
kind of like it's sort of like a drop table almost.
Yeah, the gear, you click on the gear and then you go down below master music volume level, and it's like the 5th one down says enable 3D dice.
Yeah, and you also want to choose roll automatically.
Automatically roll 3D dice.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's see. Who wants to place the temple? Throw a d20.
I think Fanatic should.
Fanatic can throw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not even funny.
Did it roll to the table?
I
Yeah.
see it.
Maybe
I
I don't
see it.
have. Hold on. Maybe I don't have 3D dice turned on. Is that the position?
Yeah, right there.
Okay, cool.
What?
What?
Wait, I see it over here.
I see it here.
That's interesting.
Hold on a second. Let's see. Enable DPS.
It's all because we don't worship the same God.
That's
You know.
right.
Exactly.
There are actually 3 different temples.
The old gods, the new gods.
Yep.
I say wherever Aaron sees it, that's where it is.
Could you re-roll it, and I've kind of collapsed my screen so that it's the perfect size of the map. So hopefully the dice should bounce around in that area correctly. But let's see what happens if you. Great. Okay. I'm going to put a red cross where the temple is.
Okay.
And we'll add some better art later. Any of you artistic types want to draw in the shape of a temple? That would be fine.
Can you
Ethan,
remind me
why
how
don't
I get
you-
rid of our pictures on our?
Sure,
So
it's in the same gear icon.
It is in the gear. Okay, yeah. The
You just go
icon.
down and
All the way
it
down.
says avatar. You choose names only, usually.
Yeah, under game settings.
Thank you.
All right, Ethan, how about you
There we
roll
go.
3d6 for me?
Okay.
All right, a 6, a 4, and a 2. So the 6 is an abandoned workshop. The 2 is a house, and the 4 is the constable's office. So I'm going to do this: workshop, house, constable's office.
Well, yeah, because the dice are definitely not where I see them.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably session dependent about where those dice land.
It is. It's very session dependent.
And I've like collapsed my screen, my browser window down to be the same size as the map. So hopefully it lands in.
I think you going with whatever you see is perfectly reasonable. It's just I find it entertaining because mine
Gotcha.
was the workshop was right by the river. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Oh, down by the dirty brown river, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Nils, you want to throw 3d6 for me?
Okay.
A 6, a 5, and a 4. Well, the 5 is the tavern,
It's important.
and those other scores are shacks. They're abandoned houses. So this is the tavern, and there are shacks here. All right, Peter, would you roll 3d6 for me?
Certainly. A 1, a 5, and a 6.
1, a 5, and a 6. These are all shacks. All right, cool. So this is the basic layout of the town. I'm going to find a few more art pieces to drop onto them. Anybody have questions about their characters or any other details about the setup that we've worked through so far?
Mm-mm.
Town is conveniently laid out in a pentagram formation.
Oh, well, can't have everything. Let's see here. Okay. Now, a couple of details here before we begin. How many characters do we have? 6. I'm going to give you some rumors. Would you like them in private or in public?
I'm happy to make them public.
Let's see. Before we do that, we have a criminal. We clearly have a criminal in our midst, and that criminal is Opie. And Opie, someone's been digging up graves in the local cemetery.
And they're blaming me?
And that would be weird enough if it wasn't for the fact that no one was talking about it. And even the priest is just business as usual.
Maybe someone's casting some sort of spell or something to keep people unaware of what's going on.
A couple of commons. We have one religious. Who's the religious zealot in the group?
That would be Gideon.
Gideon.
That's why he has a Bible named after him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Temple of the Holy Finger?
The middle finger.
Okay.
Not to be confused the Temple of the Stinky Finger. That's a completely different group.
Is dedicated to the new gods, and it's supposed to have a relic from the prophet Astrid herself. The locals believe the priests keep one of those finger bones in an ornate box somewhere in the temple. It's said to have great healing powers, though no one you know has ever seen it.
Ooh.
Let's see. We have who's the most wilderness
bodies.
Who's the most wild amongst you?
Probably Will.
I should say it's
I
Will.
would say.
Oh yeah, because she's all druidical.
Right.
Yeah, Morgan.
Either way, it's Ethan's fake characters.
I mean, Will has all the wilderness skills, and Morgan has all the academia. It's just all the academia happens to be wilderness magic.
Okay.
So
in your flight from, well, you tell me, but in the woods, some of the trees, you've seen carvings of dark runes with sinister character and appearance. People whisper of beasts at large. Do we have an academic?
Yeah, that is actually, I think the only one who rolled academic was Morgan.
Oh, well, she's just had her wilderness one. So no academics. How about who's the most common amongst you?
That's probably the homeless criminal.
But he's already known the criminal thing about the digging of the bodies.
Well, Ichabod isn't much better, but there's a lot of people just getting by, right?
Yeah.
Well, TikTok's a laborer and informant.
There you go.
That's fairly common. Yeah, he's easily overlooked, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And you remember that there have always been a lot of wild dogs in these parts. People feed them scraps, and the animal do a good job of keeping the rat population down. But you noticed the other day, I've not seen any dogs in town. It's almost as if they had vanished.
But there's a shit ton of Vietnamese restaurants.
Sorry.
So let's see. Looks somebody's been drawing in the shacks. I like that. And somebody's also drawing in the abandoned workshop. That's very cool. We also the final few items that will be added are the tavern, the constabulary, the a house, not really a shack, but a true house, and the temple. Everybody that didn't get a rumor that I shared with you, add a fortune point to your character sheet.
Ooh.
A fortune point's like kind of like a fate point. It lets you to turn a failure into a success.
And where that would be in the main area, right?
Probably
there it is.
in the
Very bottom. Yeah.
Properties fortune point. There it is.
So it's kind of like luck.
Yeah,
Well,
kind of like
it's a get out of jail free card.
it is a get out of jail.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Let's see here.
So the workshop, I see those are gates to like a yard, and then there's a big like barn building and these big things off the side. That's chimneys.
Right, and this workshop has all been boarded up. It was years ago when an engineer was part of this community, and that was when the town was flourishing and vibrant and full of life. And this engineer brought great workings to the town of Last Hope until a deadly catastrophe befell him. And the constable at the time, he was torn apart by one of his creations. And the constable, instead of trying to figure out what was going on there, he just boarded the whole place up.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
And the townsfolk, of which some of you are part of, just shun the place. It's this kind of huge, imposing structure in the middle of town, and people just kind of give it wide berth.
So that may be
What was the H?
for a bad thing.
That is a true house. Actually, a fine-looking house. Maybe it's where the engineer lived. No, in fact, this is where the mayor of the town lives. And yeah, very nice. Cool. Nils, I think you were drawing in the temple. That was kind of cool, what you were working on.
Yeah, but I couldn't get it looking good, so I figured I'd leave it to Peter.
Oh. Everything moved.
All right, that was me. I fixed it though, I think.
The nice house has to have a nice carriage house, and that's a walled. That's a tavern's got a walled yard, and there's a stable.
Okay. Cool.
What's the temple look like?
Temple of the New Gods.
And it's of the single finger, so.
Well, was it an appropriated temple? Was it an originally dedicated to the old gods and now it's the new?
Probably. Knowing how these things work.
Very nice.
It's the god of the single finger, right?
It brings much healing.
That's it. Bend over and cough.
And the last thing we need is the constabulary when you're.
Wow.
Pardon me. Oh, we could also use a graveyard. I'll rough in where the graveyard is. Sake.
It's night.
What happened? Yeah, that's the dangerous thing is when you're goofing around on the map layer, you can seriously fuck shit up.
I'm trying to behave myself here.
Oh, yeah, I was going to draw in the graveyard.
I figured the constabulary would have maybe a little tower and then a yard for horses as well. Where do you want the graveyard? Ooh, there it is.
Cool.
Oh, you know, it'd help if I zoomed in, wouldn't it? That's a lot easier.
Great looking town.
This is a very interesting way to build the town. Is this something you came up with, or how did you come up with the idea of
No,
rolling
it was
dice?
part of the module design.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it's not anything I did myself, but I think it's kind of a neat idea.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
So a few points of interest about this place. Much of the town is old and run down. These shacks are, you might call them dwellings in some instances. A few people do live here in the town besides you. There's the mayor's home, the mayor's estate, really, and the abandoned workshop, and the tavern, the Reverie, and the constabulary's office. How many souls live in this town?
Not
Well,
many.
More
we
than
have-
6, because otherwise there's not going to be very many people here.
I mean, there's 5 shacks and the mayor's house, so
But there's got to be a couple farms and some more shacks just out.
Yeah,
of
this is the town
other side.
proper, right? This is maybe what you might call at one point the village green or the marketplace or the
Right.
the center of the local community. And
So
what
we're
I'm trying to get a sense of is how many souls inhabit this community of last hope.
mid to high double digits,
88.
somewhere in there. Yeah.
That's a good number. I like that.
Yeah.
So there are some farmers that live outside of town. There are a few homesteads and things like that. But this is the center of town, based on the vibrancy of the Reverie and once the workshop and the temple itself ministering to the local communities, and now being rededicated to the old gods, to the new gods. The Temple of the Holy Finger. Good, great. All right, let's see. A few things. Okay, fine. All right, let's see.
That'll do.
Ethan, how do you do starting equipment? Do you remember?
Yeah. So
Or did you
starting
do it?
equipment is all based off of what much wealth you have starting out. So
Okay.
if you're getting by, you have a dagger, your choice of a staff, club, or sling with 20 stones,
Mm-hmm.
basic clothes, a backpack, a week of rations, a water skin, tinderbox, 2 torches, and a pouch containing 1d6 CP.
Okay.
That's page 25.
CP. Yeah. So the monetary system of this world is a silver-based economy. Silver is the most common unit of currency, but that's more for like merchants and things like that. So prices would be set in silver. Common folk like yourselves are more familiar with copper and even bits of copper. So it would be bits, copper, silver, and then gold would be for kind of the wealthy.
I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
So what did you say getting by gets, Ethan? I caught dagger.
You get like a small hand weapon,
Yeah,
some food, clothes,
Yeah,
a couple of torches. Nothing extravagant.
exactly. And then the one destitute member of our party has a club or a sling, rags, and a pouch with 1d6 bits.
Oh, right. 1d6 copper you would start with, or bits if you're destitute.
Yeah.
3 bits.
3 bits.
And I've got a sling.
Not bad.
How much
Maybe-
money does getting goodbye have?
A d6 copper.
Okay, so Ichabod might have some money here. 4 copper. Poor Opie. I added some road in a square.
I added our population sign.
I like it.
It'll go down as the 0 level continues.
Like in the Bruce Campbell movie, They Call Me Bruce, where Sam Raimi Jr. keeps repainting the population sign as people are murdered by the vengeful spirit.
That's pretty much what the plan is with this. Is I'll just slowly decrease the number until there aren't any inhabitants left.
That's it. We're a cheerful lot.
Oh yeah. Or we'll put a second sign for demons. So as the population goes down, the demon population will go up.
Sorry, I was just skimming some notes and scarfing some dinner, waiting for Nils to come back.
No problem.
We're just making sure we have our paint ready for our population sign.
Okay.
I don't know about you, Ethan, but I have this overwhelming urge to check out that workshop.
That is my first instinct.
He said, it's boarded up. No one's been back since. I went, well, then.
Like, where can I go that'll get me in the most trouble?
That's right.
The workshop.
I'm back. Hopefully
Hey.
you weren't waiting for me.
No, not long. I was just skimming some notes, trying to get prepped up for the session tonight. All right. We have our characters. We're ready to begin. Want to point out a few key details about the town again before we start. Then I'll set the opening scene, and then we'll move into the adventure proper. So again, the Temple of the Holy Finger. It's provided over by Father Solomon. The Reverie, which is the local inn and tavern. It's always quite bustling. Even for this small population, it's the gathering point for the community.
The water.
Is it called the Green Rabbit?
It's called the Reverie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's too nice of a name.
But maybe the Green Rabbit is more appropriate. What do you think?
I'll go with Green Rabbit.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. The Abandoned Workshop.
Do we know what it used to make?
No, we don't know anything about the Abandoned Workshop. Other than it's been boarded up for
Quite
a few
some
years now. Let's see.
Well, Opie's thinking, squatter's rights. If he goes and stays there long enough, it's his, right?
There's that, nobody, I don't think anyone would begrudge you. The constable might look at you peculiar, like, why are you messing around in there? You're gonna get torn apart too. Let's see. And let's see, what is the constable's name?
Constable Graham.
Graham. There's a mayor who goes by Alderman Kemp. Hang on, the family's back.
Parenting. I don't know. Kind of against the whole idea.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was getting Grace to bed.
Yeah, you have to drug them, right?
It helps.
Okay. Anybody have questions about the town, or are you citizens of the town, or are you more or new or recent arrivals? How do you see your position here?
Well, Will is just like one of those Forrester outcast kind of guys who's like just a local hunter.
Okay, so he lives on the fringes of the community.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. And then Morgan is very much a recent addition. She's kind of living in the woods with Will, who like just made her way. She's been running from home.
Okay. It sounds like maybe he's like kind of swept her up into his protection and care.
Pretty much.
Okay, I like that. Nils, how about for 808 and for
Gideon is actually come to this temple, since this is his initial contact or whatever felt like basically pointed him this way to start his quest towards clearing his family name. And 8008135 is let's see, it was
We're calling him boobies.
Morgan calling him TikTok.
okay. He's the mayor's worker.
Okay.
So he's not. I mean, he's in the employment. It's not like the mayor owns him, but he is in the employment of the mayor, which also kind of feeds into his good ability of being an informant.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's super cool. How about for Ichabod and Opie?
Well, they're not initially from here, but Opie had family here back when he was young, and so it kind of drew him back here. He's kind of been on the run, and Ichabod's looking out for him right now. And like I said, feels like he owes him something, and so they've come to sort of lay low again, sort of an in Bruges moment, lay low here till things cool down elsewhere.
Okay. All right. The six of you are making your way from you're as a group, you're somewhere. Actually, yes, that's perfect. So as a group, you've decided to check out the abandoned workshop one more time, maybe before you head for the tavern for your evening's repast. You're all companions. You all know one another. You all have made one another's acquaintances. And I would put you roughly here.
Okay.
As you're sort of maybe 808's making his way from his daily tasks. And some of you are making your way down towards the inn, the Green Rabbit, and maybe even some others of you are in passing, perhaps going to pay your respects at the temple. When bursting from the temple doors comes flying a young man, screaming and jabbering about a mud man. Ah! And he runs right into 808. Thump. You couldn't even see where he was going, maybe even knocking 808 down into a tangle of arms and limbs as they extract, as the two of you try to extract yourself from one another. What will you do, 808?
I get myself up and kind of use my eeriness and large size to kind of intimidate him into, maybe cowering a bit and snapping him out of his fanaticism and getting questions, information out of him.
Calm down, man. Calm down.
Okay. So the boy is covered in dirt and dust. I mean, he just looks filthy. There's a streak of blood on him, and he's just jabbering about himself. Why don't you give me a will check? Make a challenge roll against your will.
Okay.
To see if you can calm him down.
And so my will is 9, and I roll a d20 against that.
Yep. And
2d6.
No, you roll a d20. Your will is 9, so you're -1. So you're trying to get greater than an 11, greater than a 10 on a d20 -1.
Yeah, you're always trying to get greater than 10 on any d20 you roll.
Okay. Oh no.
Now he's like panicking and squirming, and he pulls a dagger and he like lashes out at you with it. What do you do?
Stab him back, dude.
No.
Actually, yeah. So he whips out this dagger. Now we're going to go to a combat. We're going to go to a combat phase. The way combat works in this game is there are 2 combat phases. There's a fast combat phase and there's a slow combat phase. The players always go first, then the minions controlled by the game master. In the fast phase, you can do one thing. You can take an action or you can move. An action might be an attack, or it might be casting a spell or doing something, taking some sort of initiative or action. That's the fast phase. Is it only attacks, Ethan, or is it what can be done in the fast phase? Sorry, just checking the rules.
The fast phase, if I remember right, is it's just oh boy.
Oh
Should
boy.
do an action.
I'm just looking. I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too.
So
I'm not.
You don't have to, Peter. I'll tell you what to do. But the way it works, so here it is, combat. Fast turns and slow turns. Use an action or move up to your speed. So an action might be, and then on the slow turns, you can do both of them. So you choose at the beginning if you're going to go fast or if you're going to go slow. So, and because players always go first, they just have a chance to say, oh yeah, I'm going to do something right now. And then the minions have a chance to respond or say, no, they're going to go slow also. And then in the slow turn, you can do an action and move. So it's an or thing for fast, or and then for slow, it's an and thing. Does that make sense? I probably didn't explain it very well.
It does, but if you choose slow, does that mean you go at the same time as the minions?
No, players always go first.
But
Okay.
it allows the opposing players or the opposing creatures to move and attack.
Gotcha.
Right.
So it's if you take a fast turn, your opponent takes a fast turn. If you do a slow, they do a slow.
Gotcha.
But you will only ever do fast or slow in a given round. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yes.
All right. So 808, Gideon. This boy's lunging at you with the dagger.
Mhm.
What will you do?
Um,
And use an action or move if you choose to go fast, or you can wait to go in the slow phase, or you can do both of those things.
okay. I am going to try to back up and to the side to try to disengage myself.
So you're trying to get away.
Yes.
808 is okay.
Mhm.
So he sounds like, and he's moving fast. He's like
Yes.
trying to get back up from all of this mess. Okay,
Mhm.
what's Gideon doing?
Um,
Is he going to move fast? Is he going to act in the fast turn or the slow turn?
he'll act in the slow turn.
Will you act in the fast turn or the slow turn?
He will act in the fast turn and fire his sling.
Oh, he's
Or
going to.
throw it down.
All right. All right. So 808 like kind of backs up in this, and the boy's like waving this dagger around, and Will like just hurls a rock at his head.
Well, I figure the rock might knock him out.
Okay.
It might kill him.
So you're trying to stun him, maybe?
Yeah, if I could.
All right.
All right.
Just skimming some rules here.
Yep. I believe it is D20 plus any modifiers I have, and I'm trying to get above whatever defense he
Whatever
has.
his defense is, and I'll tell you his defense in just a minute.
Okay. Okay, so this is a ranged weapon, so it's my agility that mods it. Okay. So it's going to be +2.
Okay, you can do a couple of things. There are ranged attack options. You can make a called shot to try to hit a specific location or a specific thing. You can make a distant shot, shooting at a very long range. Or you can make a staggering shot where you would knock someone down. So I'm
Okay.
going to say that the staggering shot, you could knock him out.
Okay.
Or even the called shot, you could knock him out. But they both have the same effect. They give you 2 Banes.
Okay.
And his defense is 11.
All right.
He's like kind of short and fast and like just moving all over the place.
Okay. I'm actually going to go for the called shot to try and hit the dagger out of his hand.
Oh, all right.
So it's 2 Banes, right?
So it would be a D20 plus 2D6. You take
And
the higher of those two.
2d6 subtracts, right?
Yeah, you take the higher of those 6-siders and you subtract it from your D20.
Okay, so here's the D20 with my agility mod, and then I'll factor in the 2d6.
Pretty good. So that looks like a 15, right?
16 total, and then let me do the 2d6 to see which is higher. So -3, so 13.
No, I've been -3 actually.
Right, -3.
Yeah.
They're both 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that's a -3. I see it.
So
The dagger goes flying from his hands.
all right.
Great shot. What's Morgan doing? Is she taking a fast turn or a slow turn?
She's doing a slow turn.
Let's see. Ichabod, we go fast or slow?
Well, I want to try to calm the guy down and talk to him. Would that be fast or slow?
You could do that as an action, like talk. What do you want to say?
I'm putting my hands up. It's just whoa, tell us about the monster. Tell us about the monster. Just calm down.
He's breathing really fast. Is that Ichabod or Opie talking?
That was Ichabod. Opie's. I have a feeling Opie's not the most reassuring looking individual.
He's kind of scruffy, a little rough
Yeah.
around the edges.
Could use a bath.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe young Gerda, Miss Morgan, will have better when the slow round comes around.
he screams, "Ghosts everywhere!" And he dives for the dagger and he clutches it to his body. He's like kind of curled up in a ball, in a dirty ball, this dagger clutched to his chest. That was him acting in the fast turn. Who would like to take anybody's in that? And the rest of you that haven't had a chance to act may do so now. You can take 2 actions, move, and to do something else.
Okay.
Yes. I think actually,
I think I can see something that's needed here for the Roll20, like kind of like a table or a chart where we can have tokens that get pushed into fast or slow.
Yeah.
So you can see that kind of shaping up on the tabletop. I'll work something like that up, but not tonight.
oh, of course you will. Opie's going to try to backtrack and take a look towards the temple door where he came running out of.
Okay. So looking over towards the temple, you can see that it's dark inside. Sun's beginning to set. Normally, people are visiting for their last, the evening rites and rituals, but there's no movement inside the temple. The 2 double doors have been like thrown open, and that's where the kid ran out and ran into you all. Okay, that was Opie. What is Gideon doing?
He's gonna try to tackle the kid. And
The kid's on the ground, curled up,
Oh,
and
yes,
he's got the dagger like kind of clutched to his chest.
right. Okay. Maybe not. Being concerned about the temple and what's going on there, since that is his new source of solidarity or whatever.
Mhm.
He's going to run to the temple and try to look in and look in the temple.
Okay, great. So Gideon goes running off towards the temple.
Mhm.
Anybody else need to take slows?
I think Morgan is left.
Okay.
Morgan will stand by Will and kind of like try and talk soothingly to this kid, like, "Hey, it's gonna be okay. Calm down."
Okay. Give me an even will challenge.
Okay.
No bane or boon. Actually, take 1 bane because Will hucked a rock at him.
That's fair.
He's freaked out.
Okay. So here's the roll, and then let me add Bane.
Wow.
So 13.
So he kind of sits up and he's sort of crying now, and you can see he's rubbing dirt more into his eyes than cleaning them. And it says, "The priest, he attacked me."
Oh, every altar boy goes through that.
All right.
And Morgan's just like soothing him and trying to keep calming him. But
Okay.
yep.
What will you do? Gideon's at the temple doors. You're at the temple doors and you're looking in, and it's dark where there should be light here. There should be candles lit. There should be incense
Torches,
burning. There should be even, you should see Father Solomon, preparing the altar for the evening's rites.
You should open the doors and see all the people.
Right. I am going to get my jar with the glowing bug in it and shake it a little bit and get it lit up so I can get some light in there and
Okay.
slowly advance inside.
Okay. Cool. Let me give you a sketch of what the what you see when you enter the temple. You're familiar with this place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So from the great door, it's just a big hall, and you know that there's a door at the very back that kind of leads into the inner chambers of the temple where the priests live, and storages are kept and things like that. Let me sketch this for you. I'm going to move you all to a new map. So we have somewhere to kind of sketch these
Theater of the mind map. Yeah.
Theater of the mind map. And let's drop the grid because we don't really need that on a sketch pad. And white's fine for background. All right. Yeah, so it's this big hall, and the doors are here, and the altar's here. And there are smaller doors here that kind of lead off into the deeper parts of the temple. You've not been in there. You've celebrated the rites here. All of the old god murals and iconography has been kind of whitewashed over, and it's this sort of bare and stark place, except for the altar that stands on a raised dais.
Are there candles and stuff around that are just not lit?
Yeah, that's a good point. There are all around the center of the hall are candles that have been knocked over. They're kind of almost in a
Pentagram?
half circle. And they're the big tapers, the big round ones.
Mm-hmm.
And around these fallen tapers, these fallen candles, you can see these small mounds of dirt. And this is all just slowly being illuminated by the light being brought up from Gideon's jar of glowing beetles. And these mounds of dirt are like they're like fist size, or maybe 2 fist size piles of dirt. All right.
I'm sure everything's fine. Let's just close the doors.
What are you doing?
Will and Morgan are just heading over to the altar boy and just keeping him calm, making sure he's doing well. So they're doing a slow action.
Okay. Yeah, we're out of combat, so it's just straight.
Okay.
So you're comforting the boy. Okay.
Right. We're just making sure he's not gonna pick up his dagger and backstab us while we're dealing with whatever this creature is.
Okay. You've not seen any creature.
True, but we've heard about it. There's some sort of creature here that scared
a mud monster.
So yeah.
And ghosts. There's ghosts everywhere.
Yeah. But once they've helped him calm down to at least some stability, they'll move in towards the opening to the church or temple.
Are you bringing the boy with you? What are you doing with the boy?
The boy I will leave sitting outside, and I'll tell him if he feels up to it to go talk to the constable.
Okay. All right. So you're sending him to talk to the constable.
Yep, to get help, or to try and get help from the constable.
He's just gonna board the temple up.
Hey, I mean,
When you're a hammer, every problem's a nail.
pretty much.
I'm gluing an ogre.
I'm gluing an ogre.
You see Opie stop, pulls out a little ogre figure and some glue. Getting his voodoo doll ready.
That's it. I was hoping I was going to have a spellcaster, but I have a feeling poor Opie's just going to end up just, I don't know, a homeless guy? I don't know.
He could be a magically augmented homeless thief.
Sure, yeah, let's go with that.
All right. Let's see. Sorry, just catching up with my notes that are a little bit scattered right now.
We weren't supposed to not kill the boy.
That's it.
All right. So you've sent the boy off to the constable, and
Yep.
and Gideon and
Ichabod's lighting a
Ichabod,
torch.
Gideon, Ichabod, and possibly,
Opie.
well, I know Gideon and Ichabod certainly are peering into the temple where they've seen these knocked over candles and mounds of dirt. What will you do?
Well, I'm lighting a torch.
Okay. The light flares up a little bit brighter. It adds to the glowing beetles in the jar. Make a Ichabod, as you fire up your torch, give me an intellect check. Intellect challenge. So if he's an 11 or greater, those would be pluses to his roll. Looking for a 10.
He's a 10. So
Okay,
it's a
so
straight roll.
just a straight roll.
It's just a D20, right? Oh no.
Ooh.
He sees nothing.
Okay.
But Opie's there too. Just
Sure.
people don't notice him but he's there.
Yeah. So you know that the temple, it has some interior rooms to it. You've never been into any of them. You've never been behind the altar, but you do know that the rear, there's like a stone arch built in the back of the temple, which leads out to the graveyard. What will you do? You're still at the edge of the temple, peering into, what looks to be just a bit of a mess, really.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
It's not as it should be.
Right.
Gideon's going to start calling out for the clergy members that he knows about.
Oh, calling out
They're in
for
the back
Father
room.
Solomon? Solomon!
Yeah.
Solomon!
Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, Mercury.
Yeah, you don't. There's silence from within the temple.
Well, the boy did say that it was one of the priests who attacked him, so.
Opie's gonna approach one of these piles of dirt.
Okay. So you're creeping into the temple. Your companions at your back.
Yeah, Ichabod's right behind him because he's got the torch.
All right. Oh, and you're looking at these piles of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like fresh, dried earth, not like mud. And it's almost in a perfect sort of, like if you had just drizzled it from, like a child on a beach pouring a pail. It just sort of mounds up.
Uh-huh.
And wait, there you can see splatters of blood. And they're like leading back towards the door, one of these doors.
Excellent. And that's where because the kid was injured, right?
He said he was injured.
Okay, we didn't see anything on him.
I mean, he was absolutely filthy, though.
So something about the dirt either attacked him or... I'm going to kick the pile of dust as we walk by it.
Okay, it just scatters.
I say we follow the blood trail.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. So you're the blood trail. It's like kind of. It just like sort of drips and drops of blood, and it leads in back to this door here in the north of the hall, and into the hall is like this great, like sort of a wood paneled hallway, and that wood paneled hallway has a few doors leading off of it. This door down here at the bottom is open.
Where's the blood lead to?
It leads to the door that leads out towards the graveyard.
Should we go check out the open door? Because nothing says safety like an open door in a creepy temple.
Right. Yep.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, I got my
That's
sling
fine.
out, and my other character has... What did you say the character... if you're getting by, you start with a hand weapon?
Yeah, like a dagger.
And then you have a choice between staff, club, or sling.
Okay, so I got a dagger on him.
Yeah, everybody that's getting by would have a dagger.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you can also have a staff, club, or sling.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Let me add that to Ichabod, because he's got a dagger, and he can also have a staff, a sling, or what was the third choice?
Or club.
We're going to go with a sling, because I think we need ranged weapons.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so this down here is a storeroom of sorts. And it has plenty of, I guess you could say, religious paraphernalia in it. Like shelves and books and boxes, but the place has been ransacked.
How peculiar.
It's like someone was looking for a special religious healing artifact. Finger of Astrid.
The patron god of proctologists. I say we follow the blood trail.
Yes, let's keep following.
Blood for the blood god.
Okay,
sorry.
guys.
Sorry.
Okay, so you just make your way down here to the open door, kind of check it out, and then turn around and like hurry after the blood trail. Is that what you're doing?
I think that sounds accurate.
All right, so you make your way out into this. This is like a open air chamber. There are walls and a roof above it, but there's an open archway which leads almost serenely out into this sort of overgrown graveyard. And the trail's getting harder and harder to follow. And you're almost losing sight of it here in the graveyard. What will you do?
I think we'll have
Look
Will
around for
look
open
for it.
graves.
I would say Will has he has that tracker skill. So
Okay, so Will's the tracker. He's going to try to pick up the trail.
Yep.
I'll give you one boon for that.
Okay.
And I like Nils's point of watching for open graves.
Oh, looking for open graves. Okay.
There shouldn't be any.
That's a good idea.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, Will clearly has the scent. It's not just the blood drops that he's seen, but he's also tagged the step, and it's a man's boot print, but one of the feet, one of the boots is dragging. It's not a clean step, right? It's like step
Possibly
drag,
wounded.
step drag, and
Possibly a wounded leg or foot.
and that's the trail that you're picking up on, and you can see the trail leads off into the woods.
Oh no!
I'm gonna put
You
it
hear
here.
Morgan like whisper quietly, "Zombie."
So it's here, and
Not a teddy bear picnic.
it's from the graveyard itself. There's like a low fence that's all around the graveyard with wild grasses and whatnot, and the trail leads off into the woods. Marked it there on the map.
I can see which way we got to go.
Yep.
Back to the tavern.
We're of one mind. Excellent.
I was thinking out of the city and like over to the next city over, but you know, the tavern works too.
What was the red drawn thing?
Oh,
That's
that's
the
the
population
population
sign.
sign.
Oh,
88.
88. All right.
The boy
Or-
didn't die, so I don't get to reduce it to 87.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so the sun is setting. It's dusk is rapidly waning. You're standing in the graveyard. Will's looking out over the trail. You can clearly see it running off into the woods there. I think some of you are like, well, I need a drink.
Or at least we probably shouldn't be going off into these woods with some unknown thing in the middle of the night. So
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't say that it's going to be dark.
Within
It
the
would be
hour.
dark in like an hour.
right.
Well, I mean, Will and Morgan basically live in the forest anyway, so they don't really care. But
That's true. They're just going home.
Okay, the party's still in the graveyard, trying to decide what to do. You've sort of raced through the temple. When you discovered the blood trail, you rapidly gave pursuit, but now, seeing it run off into the woods has sort of drawn you up short. What will you do?
I will suggest that we do a more thorough, that we somehow more permanently mark the trail that we see so we can follow it tomorrow, and then do a more thorough investigation of the temple tonight and not chase off to our deaths
In the night?
in the nighttime. Yeah.
Guys, what do you guys think about that?
There's
Yeah.
wisdom to your words.
yeah.
The part of me's like, just let's go running into the woods. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be okay.
And see if
Okay.
the constable comes back.
I think that sounds like a a good plan. What I heard you say was Will is not going to have any problem following that trail. He's got a great he's got a great insight into, just exactly what he's looking for. 3 steps and then a drop of blood and a dragged boot, and then 3 more steps, and then this very much the same. So he feels like he could follow that trail in the morning without any difficulty.
Well, in that case, yeah, why don't we nap for the night and go at this thing when it's not dark out?
So say we all.
Yeah.
So Gideon would like to go back through the temple.
Oh, right. And you were going to do some investigation of the temple. Is that right, Gideon?
Yes.
Yeah, there were at least 2 more doors we haven't checked out. I think there's 3. No, 2.
Yeah, just 2, I think.
Okay. So the first was the overturned storeroom in the south here. And you make your way back into the main hall, that wood-paneled, warm hallway. Lots of rich wood tones. And here, actually, in the hall, you can see there are a few candles that have been lit, set in their sconces or their sconces on the walls. Not torches, but candles.
I'm going to light them with my torch as I go along.
Yeah, they are. There are a few that are unlit, but mostly they are lit. And the hall, blazes into, the warm, illustrious wooden paneling and the finely wrought floorboards. Like this area is like well kept. Whereas the temple itself is like stark and bare. This is, there's something maybe a little bit opulent about this area, this hallway. This area behind the dais.
Also, being that this is where Gideon's supposed to be looking for any kind of leads, he's going to be kind of searching for more than just unusual things. He's actually going to take the opportunity to kind of ransack the area to try to look for old records and things like that to try to help him with his quest.
Oh, okay. Do you want to start in the storeroom then, or do you want to start elsewhere? Just tell me where you're going and what you're doing.
Right.
I get your
Right.
general game plan. Is that sounds like since there's nobody around, you're going to take advantage of
Exactly.
kind of seeing the secret rites, as it were.
So I'm gonna either be looking in some place like a storeroom where it's just like a bunch of regalia.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be looking more for like a I guess we've seen how big the building is, so it doesn't look like there's going to be very many secret passages, but either some sort of secret compartment, or if there's more of an office area, or maybe the Father Simon's personal bedroom, I'd be spending a lot more time in there.
So you find a lot in your exploration of this area. The first thing is that the room all the way to the north is clearly the priest's quarters. I'm marking it with a Q on the map. This is the hall that leads to the cemetery. This is the vestry where all of the garments and ornation of the priests are stored. And then again, the room all the way to the south is the ransacked storeroom.
So I probably spend most of my time in the priest's quarters looking for secret things.
Okay. So they're pretty. It's pretty simple and bare. The quarters. There's a cot, a writing desk, a stool, and a chest. There's writing implements in the desk, quill and ink, paper. Things about. There are a few letters and correspondences that you go through, but they're pretty boring. They're almost like gossip amongst the priests being sent back and forth about.
Well, do we even know how to read?
Some of us do.
Some of you do. In fact, the one character that I do know is literate is Ichabod.
Yeah.
Right, and Ichabod is gained his literacy through the introduction to the old ways and the old rites.
The only ways.
Mm-hmm. And he can read these letters.
Okay.
Was it Gideon? Did he have any sort of academic background or?
No, he traveled, and so he has another language, but I don't know that because they specify about.
You could make that literacy if you'd like.
Okay.
Rather than being another language.
Yeah, let me think about it.
Languages would be kind of the racial languages. They could also be ancient languages, or maybe even new ones because you follow.
Right.
You're a devotee of the new gods.
Right. Yeah, I see a section here on the languages. Okay. Okay. So, and I'll check under the desk and feel through any kind of mattress he has or underneath the bed.
Sure. Sure.
Stomp on the floorboards or bed or something.
Oh, and Opie's good at that. He's checking. People always hide stuff here.
So you do find in the chest at the foot of the bed are like the finest robes, for the most high and holy days. The vestments of Father Solomon. They're black and very beautiful. Also at the bottom of the chest, there's a small box that jingles with coin when you shake it. It's pretty heavy too.
Okay.
But that's about all that you find in the priest quarters. But I do need to know if you're literate or not. Or if you're going to choose another language.
Yeah, let me quickly.
While he does that, I am going to be trying to read anything if there's any information about was there somebody visiting? Was there some new thing being going on? Did they receive a new shipment of candles?
Right. All the communication is pretty boring and mundane. Though you do discover, a couple of like dark secrets about the priest. What is one of those? That he had confided in with.
He owes money.
Somebody that he was, writing a letter to.
Oh no, he has a child. He has a child in another. In another
town.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's his? Is he pining for that child, or is he casting it off? And what did you get? What did you gather about this?
That he is sending small amounts of funds regularly out of his own pay. He is sending money to someone in another town to pay for this child's upkeep.
Okay, I like that. That's cool. And the other thing, Gideon, that you discover here in the priest quarters is the holy symbol of the Temple of the Holy Finger. What is that symbol?
A hand with the ring finger missing.
Oh, cool. Is it like held out, outstretched with the one absent finger?
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. All right. So you've spent a good deal of time ransacking the priest quarters. Are you going to do anything else here in the temple?
Well, I
know that you are going to visit each of the rooms. Let me tell you a little bit about the vestry. It simply holds more robes for like acolytes. They're all black in color, similar to the priest's fine garments, but nowhere near as nice as quality. And the last thing about the storeroom is that you find a small, the back of the storeroom, there's a small, what you discern is like a little room. And there's a tiny door down at the bottom, but it's locked. Down at the bottom of like this small, like almost like a closet, but the door is like half the height of a normal door, but just as wide, and it's locked.
This is in the storeroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's where they keep the vacuum cleaner.
Is that? It looks like there's one already drawn. There's one drawn on here. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that I just drew it on. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. And in our searchings, we didn't see any keys.
In the priest office, in his desk, I mean. Maybe in his sleeping room.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm just skimming my notes. No, you have not discovered a key.
Damn.
But you've only spent your time searching. Yeah, you have not discovered a key. Yes.
Right. Okay.
I think I should go check out the altar too. I'm going to see if there's been any kind of desecration or something weird happen on the altar.
Okay. Okay.
Because something nasty went down here, and those candles shouldn't have been where they are, and there's no reason to have piles of dirt in a temple. Now, I don't worship here, but it just doesn't seem right.
It doesn't seem right. In fact, it feels very, very wrong. So when you search the temple, you find like more of those weird piles. When you search the altar, there are more of these weird piles of dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And those piles of dirt are kind of ring the altar almost. There's one at each cardinal corner.
Like where someone had been standing, perhaps?
Possibly. But they're at each corner of the altar, you know, and if you were to stand behind it, you would stand sort of here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one candle that's been knocked over onto the surface of the altar, and it burned for a little while, where wax had sort of pooled and like dropped off the far edge of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you catch sight of underneath the altar itself, beneath the altar, which is sort of shrouded by, you know, this draping, a bit of vellum poking through one of the, you know, just from the underside of the covering.
Opie's going to pull it out.
It's a big sheaf of paper, and there's all these symbols and scrawlings that have been scored onto it in what looks like blood.
Hey, Itchy, what's this say?
While all this is going on, Morgan's gonna try and like rack her brain to see if her knowledge of folklore, nature, and magic, if she can understand if there's some sort of ritual that she knows about that involves dirt and candles.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead and give me a intellect challenge.
Okay.
Looks even.
So that's an 11. Yep.
Yeah, so this is these deposits of dirt are like ritualistic for an changeling, an earth an earthborn changeling.
Okay.
Not a Feyborn changeling, but an earthborn changeling.
Interesting.
Wasn't Changeling one of the starting classes?
Yes.
It is. Changelings are the offspring of human and Fey creatures that have been abandoned to one realm or another. But this is something a little more Fey than human.
Mm.
And you know that these mounds of dirt are like the signs of passing. The signs of passing of an earthborn changeling.
So there are definitely several earthborn changelings wandering around.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah,
you do know that but it is a sign of passing. That part is clear.
And what do you mean by passing?
Like
they've died?
No, they came through the area.
Yeah, right. Like good.
They've been here.
So they basically take dumps here.
Yeah.
Okay. They've desecrated the temple. All right.
This is the guy who named his character Boobies. All right.
Yeah, I'm checking.
Okay, so you've discovered this large sheaf of parchment. It's wider than it is long. And there are all these. There's all this scribbling in blood on it. Let's see, what will you do?
Well, being that 800135 was made for magic and was a translator, he speaks High Archaic, which is the language of magic. So he has some magical experience. So he's going to take a look at it and see if he can get a sense of what it is.
You speak it, but do you read it?
No. But he might be able to, because it actually says that the High Archaic actually uses the common language alphabet. So he wouldn't expect necessarily that he would be able to read it, because it's not the same. It may not be a language, but he has, like I said, he was built to do magic, and he's had, because he can speak High Archaic, he's had some magic experience. So it's just kind of a check to see if you can get an idea of what it is.
Yeah, it's some sort of incantation.
Okay.
You know that.
All right.
It is some sort of archaic incantation.
I bet it's an incantation for, are you ready for this? Summoning an Earthborn.
Yeah, summoning a changeling, an earthborn changeling. Yeah.
That's it. I'm just throwing this out there. Just spitballing.
Ichabod, do you want to look at it? You can read.
Yes, I would very much like to.
Okay. It is an incantation of arcane sight. I don't know what that does, but I think this is a good place to close tonight's session. We won't count this as one full session. Well,
right.
No, we haven't really solved anything yet.
Not much yet, so.
Yeah. It was a lot of rolling up characters and sort of
I looked at it as a 0 session.
Yeah.
Not that it meant nothing, but meant it was the pre-session before we start counting, and we just had to figure out some of this.
Right. Yeah. And get attached to your characters.
Yeah, it's gonna be sad when they die, but
Yep.
Yeah, shit happens. Especially in the Dying Earth with the Falling Empire.
Oh my gosh. We couldn't have anything cheerful. No.
With an undying gray season.
Yeah,
strange beasts roaming the land.
It
filled with religious and active strife.
Yeah, Happy Cheerful Land wasn't banned, but that's essentially what it was.
With ancestors who predicated the fall of man.
Before turning into an ape.
Because he was turned into an ape.
How about hits or misses for the session tonight, guys? What do we start with? Nils.
Just starting off on something new is always fun. Rolling up the characters was a good, was a good experience, and building the town kind of dynamically, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was neat. Any misses for you?
Just Mike not being here, I'm sure he would have had some interesting thing to say at various points.
That would have been my miss too.
No, Mike. How about a hit, Peter? Anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nils on this. That just going through the whole process of setting characters up together and sort of stumbling through it together was a real hit, because it made me feel less clueless, I guess, is the way to put it.
Right. Everybody was in the same boat, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, we're all clueless together.
Cool. Ethan, how about for you? Hits or misses? Hits and misses.
My big hit probably was just the whole character creation and just seeing all the different wacky combinations that were coming together and seeing how it all worked and everything. And seeing
that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
My only miss would be that we didn't get as far into the actual gaming side of things, but that's
because a lot of it was taken up by the character creation. I think we went for an hour and a half on that. But.
Yeah, thereabouts. But that was to be expected. So,
okay, fun. Let's see. Hits for me. Well, trying something new. But I think the miss too is, still not being super familiar or comfortable. But at least it makes mechanically, it's simple enough that it doesn't really matter. It's, do you get a bane or a boon for that? That sounds cool. Give me a challenge roll. Well, that was easy. You passed or you failed.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Then also the other big hit for me was hearing all of your guys' contributions as well. The storyboarding thing at the beginning, I thought was really neat, and then the characters sort of fit their way into that.
Mm-hmm.
And we started a new adventure, so that's a big hit for me. Cool. Well, let's pick it up next Thursday.
Yeah, in the words of Fezzik, I hope we win.
I hope
we can win.
We could save the world.
That's right. Save the world or die.
Save
the world or perish.
Save it or lose it. It's up to us.
Yep. If Morgan makes it all the way through to finish this, I will be extremely proud.
All right. Well, let's see it happen. All right, guys. Good night. I'll catch up with you later.
Absolutely. Good night, guys.
Bye.